don't want anybody seeing who is at that meeting. Now, tell us your take on that.
Well, their job would be made a lot harder if more people were here, I have to say. And I please don't think I'm being self-righteous at all in saying that I think it's important that I'm here. I think it's important that Jim Tucker's here. It's important that, the guy I just spoke to from Romania, he's here. It's important that Bernie, who went out on the boat to try and get near, to take photographs of them from the sea, is here. I think it's all important. And you know what? We might be entering an age where everyone has to just change what they do a little bit and become a little bit more active. And,
yes.
just a little bit. Just pick up a camera a bit more often, write something a bit more. Oh, there's one of them.
You've done it. Another one. Another secret policeman. Who's shown up now?
Yeah. Oh, he cycled off. Oh, honestly, it's pathetic. They're on bicycles now. I think it's because I'm doing a lot of walking. They're getting bored of walking after me. Anyway, so sorry, I was just saying,
Stay there. We're going to come back, sir. We're going to come back because I want you to tell us what you've seen. If you got out in the ocean, what happened, who else you've seen being detained or arrested. He's Charlie Skelton, Bilderberg 2009. Exclusive coverage right here at the tip of the spear. It is the Info War. I am Alex Jones. All right, Charles Skelton. I've been all over the map here. It just upsets me to hear what's happening to you. Give us a brief, and I appreciate your time, London Guardian reporter joining us from Bilderberg 2009. A chronological thing. So you tried to go out in a boat. What happened there? What have you heard about other reporters being arrested? Tucker says they're all coming back to meet him at 7, 8 o'clock at night. He had just talked to him when he came on the show with us. And he said there's a whole bunch of people getting arrested and detained miles away. He said 2.5 miles away. What can you tell us?
Well, I've only briefly spoken to a couple of them, and the Romanian guy, who I believe has provided you some footage already today, has been detained, and he managed to record them, I think, whilst being detained. And Bernie, who I don't know his second name, I think he's from the American Free Press, he went out on the boat, but he said they didn't get within 3 miles before the Greek Navy came along and turned the boat around.
So now you can't even get out in the public harbor. I mean, now you can't even go out in the public harbor. It's like the gods have landed. That's the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, the point that's fascinating about that is that here's I don't know what that alarm is, so I'm going to go away from it. What's fascinating is that here's a situation where people out in the boat are being turned away by the Greek Navy from approaching within 3 miles of a hotel, and it's still not being reported on. And it's this I don't quite understand. I'm going to come away from this conference with that one question foremost in my mind. I don't understand why it's not being talked about in the press. And I know the easy answer is to say that there's a blanket pressure from the top of each of these newspapers and media outlets. You know what? Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But even so, even from within and from below and where is it? Anywhere. You put Bilderberg into Google News, and it's prisonplanet.com, Prison Planet, The Guardian, Prison Planet, that one article in the Times, and that's about it. And that's depressing. Is that the best that we can do? Is that the best reporting that we can put together as a globe? Jesus, it's pathetic.
Well, we're getting millions of people.
I'm a bit downbeat today, I realized.
No, millions of people are Googling Bilderberg and they're finding Prison Planet. So see, that backfires on the mainstream media. That's why we're seeing some reportage now from some mainstream media because they're losing so much credibility and media market share. See, the media has denied all this existed until about 6-7 years ago. Now they go, okay, they want world government. And they've had Mom Biat of your own paper come out and say, yeah, we need world government. He said that yesterday. And yeah, and people that are against it are kind of kooks. So go ahead and, don't let them have free speech. That's kind of where this goes. But then other reporters said this didn't exist all these years. They don't want to admit they're wrong. So it is pressure with the Financial Times of London, owned by a Bilderberg Group member, Mr. Wolf, with the Wall Street Journal and stuff with News Corp, Bilderberg Group member. He's certainly been there. So there's members and there's guests. Rupert Murdoch. They do have a news blackout on all of this, but we've exposed it so much that now it just discredits them. But you're right. Having people for 2.5 mile, 3 mile radiuses arrested, that's big news right there alone. Where do you see this going?
Well, I think you're absolutely right about credibility. I think that, with enough different voices all standing here and pointing at it and going, look, whatever else is happening, whatever you say about it, whether it's good or bad, these limousines did just pull up. These helicopters are circling above. There are armed people with machine guns there. There are some people in there, and they are discussing something. Is that not a news story? Is that not news? And I think that if you're not covering that, and you're deciding to just put an extra page in the paper, to cover some soap opera or whatever, or sports event, then you have to lose credibility. Surely, if you have any shred of self-respect as a news editor, surely you're giving it a place. Thank goodness the time.
Absolutely. Stay there. One more segment. We are back live. The Bilderberg Group is now into day number 2, then day 3 tomorrow, into Sunday. We'll have a big report for you, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, the abbreviated Sunday edition. We'll probably have reports again from the final day of Bilderberg as it's breaking up and leaving. You can be 2 miles away, 3 miles away, trying to get them coming in on the highway or leaving. We'll see on Sunday if people get arrested, even trying to videotape the gods leaving. Because the men in black limousines with helicopters and troops, they don't exist. The world bankers meeting with the royalty, when we get their own documents that Jim Tucker's stolen from them before and things, openly bragging about world government, none of that exists. So got to tell the public, there just happens to be army and police out here arresting you if you come near. Nothing's going on. Go away. We're talking in this segment and a little bit into the next. He'll be gone by 10 after. We have several other guests and a bunch of other news we're going to be covering. But I appreciate Charlie Skelton with The Guardian being nice and coming on. I saw his first report back on Monday or Tuesday saying, I'm going to Bilderberg to see if it exists. And we kind of said, look, they're going to send this comedy writer there to make fun of it. Then I found out his wife's a listener, he's a listener, and that, that it was his idea to go to Bilderberg. But I think that was kind of their idea to pick him, maybe thinking that, he's not an official journalist. We can kind of poo-poo it. We have to ask, why is he the guy that was sent from one of the biggest papers in the world? I mean, it's in the top 10. In fact, I pulled up its ratings. They say it's the 6th or 7th largest paper in the world. Why is he there? But I think that's maybe backfired on them because he isn't a mind-controlled mainline journalist like Mombiot there calling for world government in the same newspaper. Why do you think they sent you? Why do you think, you pointed out nobody's going to this. Would you like to send me? I mean, how did that happen?
On this station. Yeah, do it at 10 o'clock? I'll be there at 10 o'clock. Okay. 10 o'clock.
Hey, who is that talking to you, Mr. Skelton?
One of them. It's really bizarre.
I wish I wouldn't have been babbling when the secret police came up. Tell me, he was polite. He waited until you quit talking. What did the police officer say to you this time?
Nothing. I just sort of, I turned around and came up in his face again, as I've been doing. I'm talking to you. It's, 2 things are happening. One, I'm having a conversation with you. Number 2, I'm walking around a small suburb up on the hill with about sort of 4 policemen in plain clothes on various corners and streets, and I'm sort of double backing and saying hello to them and dodging them, and I sort of almost as a game for myself. And
Can we talk to him? Can we talk to him?
I know it's not a game. And that guy didn't really speak much English, so that wouldn't have been a good one.
What was he saying about 10 o'clock?
I was telling him, I'm going to go back to the station at 10 just to try and clear. Apparently there's a change of command at 10 o'clock, and the guy at the gate, who was quite nice, the young guy just said, look, don't speak to the one now, speak to the one at 10 o'clock. You might get somewhere with him. But obviously I won't get anywhere because, the amount of pressure I can put on these compared to the amount of pressure David Rockefeller can put on these, it's slightly different. So I've got a feeling that my request to be left alone...
But wait a minute, David Rockefeller doesn't exist. There's no world government. He just wrote his memoir 4 years ago saying he wants to overthrow the U.S. I mean, Mr. Skelton, there's no world government, Mr. Skelton.
Well, I kind of feel the tentacles of the world government tickling me on the back of my neck at the moment, and it's not a nice feeling.
Well, what's wrong with them setting up a world government to carry out eugenics and a one-child policy and taxing you with carbon taxes to micromanage every facet of your life? I mean, what's wrong with them banning all your liberties?
To answer your question, I think, is it's wrong in so many different ways that it's almost impossible to get your head around it. It's almost incomprehensibly bad. And it's so big I wrote about this the other day. It's a bit like, I don't know whether you've read the Edgar Allan Poe short story where someone hides something in plain view. It's the Pauline letter. And it's a story about, I'm not going to give it away now, so close your ears if you don't want to hear this. But a letter is stolen and it's hidden in plain view on the wall. And in the story, Edgar Allan Poe talks about how if you look at a map and look for a word, you won't be able to see the word if it's the large word written right across in massive letters because you're looking close up. And I sort of think
Stay there. This is key. This is key. You're talking about a spell. You know, once Charlie Skelton of London Guardian is back in the UK, out of one police state and into another, back from Bilderberg 2009, I want to have him on for like a full hour and fully brief him. And I really want to thank you, sir, for your courage and what you've done. And I don't want to say your transformation, but you've certainly now been baptized in the tyranny and know how real it is. And that's what I encourage the listeners to do. Go out, as you said, become citizen activist media. You will run into tyranny and corruption everywhere. Government is so corrupt that if you follow almost any judge that you see that's doing evil things, you'll catch him with hookers and buying drugs. And I mean, I've never found a politician that wasn't corrupt, that was doing bad things, that I couldn't follow or watch, who wouldn't